Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's computer and internet tutorial. This week we are going over Google Drive. If you joined us last week and signed up for a Gmail account, or if you already have a Gmail account, then you do have access to Google Drive. It is one of the products that they offer to people who have a Gmail account. So Google Drive is really nice. It is comparable to Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint. If you're familiar with those applications, then you'll be familiar with a lot of the features that are on Google Drive. One of the benefits of Google Drive is that anywhere you have access to the internet and you are able to sign on to your Gmail account, then you will also have access to Google Drive and all of the files that you save to Google Drive. So anytime you are on a Google website, you can access Google Drive through this little menu option here, these little box of dots. This actually shows you many of the Google products that are available to people with a Gmail account, but we're going to be talking about Google Drive, so we're going to go to Google Drive. So here on the home page of the Google Drive, or of your Google Drive, across the top here, well, basically this is all of the files that are going to be, or that are on your Google Drive. Whatever you have saved there, that will show up here. Across the top is going to be the most recent files that you have created. You can also organize your Google Drive via folders. And then here under Files is just going to list all of the files that you have saved there. So I definitely recommend using folders especially if you use Google Drive a lot, or if you have a lot of files that you want to save there. To create a folder, anytime you're creating anything new, you'll actually click on this New button here on the left-hand side. And I'm going to create a folder. I'm going to title the folder our testing folder. And there it is, pops up. I'm just going to double click on it. Obviously we haven't saved anything to this new folder, so it is empty right now. If you look across the top here, it will always show you where inside of your Google Drive you are. So we're inside of the testing folder. I'm going to go back to my drive. I can also push this button here, go back to my drive, which is the main page. And let's start creating some files that we can put inside of our new folder. So I'm going to first show you Google Docs, which is very similar to Microsoft Word. You have a lot of the same features here for manipulating your font and editing your document. So for today, I'm going to show just quickly, just like a really terrible resume, but just want to demonstrate some of the features that are part of Google Docs. So I'm going to title my document. I'm just clicking up here in the in this little window to title it, hitting enter, and you notice it is saved. So any changes that you make to your files inside of Google Docs, they are automatically saved, so you don't have to worry about saving them anywhere. It's an auto-save thing. So I'm going to highlight this. I would like this. This is going to be obviously my name at the top of my little resume here. I would like the font to be bigger. You can use these plus or minus buttons to change the size of the font. You can also set the alignment of it here. I'll make that center. And I actually would like that a little bigger. I'm going to make it size 24. I'm going to hit enter. Because this is still set to center align, the cursor is going to continue to align my text in the center of the page. I don't want that anymore, so I'm going to move it back to left align and continue with my resume. I would like this text smaller. And for resumes, we generally don't recommend going any smaller than a 12-point font. And I don't want that to be a link, so I'm going to highlight it. And with links, whenever you click on it or highlight it, this little pop-up shows up here. It gives you some options for what to do with that link. I just want to remove it as a link so it will be plain text. All right, and then I'm just putting contact information up here. It is a resume, so I want people to be able to get in contact with me. If I had like a LinkedIn, I could add that here. Yeah, I guess just any contact information, and then I'm going to hit enter. So like Microsoft Word, you can insert images, you can insert tables. I'm going to insert a table, but I will show you in how to insert images into your document. Anywhere your cursor is blinking, that's where the image will be inserted. So my cursor is here, so I'm going to click on Insert an Image, and I'm going to upload it from my computer. And there, it is inserted. If you click on the image, you can also resize it. So, show you how to resize it. These little boxes here, if you click and hold them and then drag them, you can make the image the size that you want it to be. So, you could make it really small. You can also apply alignment to it. Right now it is left aligned. You can make it center aligned or right aligned. But I don't want that image on my document, so I'm actually just going to click on it and then hit delete on my keyboard. What I would like is a table. So I'm going to insert a table. I don't know, we'll do a 2x5. And so I can adjust the size of these columns. If you notice, if you kind of move your mouse to this vertical line between the columns, your cursor will change to this little left and right arrow look, just indicating that you can move that line to the left or to the right, so you can resize it. And you just click and hold and you can drag it. So I would actually like these, since they're kind of titles of sections, I would like them to be a little bit larger. So highlighted them, made them larger, and we'll get started with employment history. I would like to use a bulleted list to list some of the jobs that I've had. So here are some listing options. You can either use like a number and letter combination. This gets into Roman numerals even here. And then this bulleted list gives you some different bulleting options. I'm just going to use this default one here. And I'm just going to highlight this text. I click and hold the mouse and drag it over there. And I would like to italicize the location. So I clicked on that italicize button. And I'm going to hit enter. And you'll notice that this bullet automatically fills itself. What I'd actually like to do is start listing my responsibilities in this position. So this shouldn't be, I guess, in the hierarchy of bullets. It should be a little offset, a little different. So I'm actually going to hit this button here to increase indent. And as you notice, the bullet changes. So I don't want this next text that I'm about to type to be italicized. You notice it's typing up italicized. So I'm going to unclick, unhighlight the italic so that it'll return to normal. So I'm going to hit enter, and it automatically fills in the next or creates the next bullet. So the way that I went about, let me backspace just so we can show how that happened. So whenever I hit enter once, it automatically created this type of bullet. But I want to move on to listing my next, or the job before this. So I'm going to hit enter again, and it creates a new bullet that's a little higher up on the hierarchy of bullets that we have going here. I could hit backspace and just completely remove that bullet if for some reason I needed to do that. Also, another option for doing that, for creating a bullet like this, is to hit this decrease indent button, and it'll create a bullet like this. It's a little hard to explain how to get between the different types of bullets, but this increase and decrease indent will help toggle between the different types of bullets. And this is the location, so I'm going to highlight it again. I want to italicize it. Enter, and I want to start listing my tasks that I did there. So, and I don't want this next text to be italicized, so I'm gonna unhighlight this. Enter. Bullet is already filled out there. Cool. So that's all I'm going to list there for my employment history. It looks like there's quite a bit of space here. I'm going to hit, so my cursor's at the end of this line. So when I hit delete, it's going to try to delete everything after the cursor. So delete and make that space a little smaller. And I would like to list my skills as a bulleted list. So I'm going to push that button. Let's see. Now that I'm taking the Google Drive tutorial, I am familiar with Google Drive, can list it as my skills. Hit enter, bullet automatically fills itself out there. Excel and PowerPoint. And let's see, another skill. Oh, we should list some soft skills. All right, and then I would like to move on to list my education. So, and I would like to explain a little bit more about Dallas College. So I'm going to increase indent, give it a different type of bullet there. Hit enter, that bullet is going to fill itself out there. And I'm going to hit enter again because I would like a darker bullet. Let's see, to list my high school information. Increase indent. Cool. So this is by no means a complete resume, but I really just want to demonstrate how to use how to use some of the Google Drive features. So I have 2 extra rows here that I don't need. So I highlight them. And if you right click, anytime you highlight text, or in this case cells in a table, you highlight them and you right click, this menu pops up and it gives you a lot of options for what to do with that highlighted data that you have there. I would like to delete these 2 rows, but if I wanted to insert additional rows, I could select that. It would insert. I'm going to highlight all 4 of those now. I actually want to delete them. I'm going to select that, and now they are deleted. If I wanted to do anything with the entire table, you can highlight all of it, go to Format, or right click on it. I'm just going to show you this option. Format, Table, and then Table Properties. And all of your table properties pop up here. I actually don't want, let me show you what I'm doing here. So I actually just use the table just to kind of format my resume here. I would really like for the lines not to be visible on the final form of this resume. You know, one other thing I think I want to do is highlight the background of this section. So I'm actually going to right click once I have all of that highlighted, and table properties is also available here, and the background color for that cell, or those cells that I have selected. I'm going to choose this kind of nice soft gray. Click OK, and now that has a background color of gray. And I would like to remove the lines from all of the cells here. So I'm going to, let's try this way. We'll do table properties from here. Just want to show you that you can access the table properties from a few different spots. And table border. I would like a white border. You can also do 0 points just to remove it. I'm going to hit OK. And now the lines for that are gone. So I could go back and format it. I could create some lines maybe in between here, or I don't know, make adjustments in the spacing just so that it looks a little better. But really I'm just wanting to show you that you have a few options here in Google Docs for manipulating your document. Now if I wanted to save my file to like a thumb drive, or if I needed to print it, all of those options are going to be under File. Here's going to be your printing option. Page setup is nice if you're needing to adjust the margins on your document. I hit OK, and the margins are now a little narrower. And then you can download it. For resumes, so you can download it. Microsoft Word, you can download it as that type of file. I always recommend for resumes downloading as a PDF. If you're needing to send it out to jobs or attach it to job applications, you'd want to attach a PDF version of your resume. And this is where you would do it, under File, Download, and PDF. I don't need to do that right now, so I'm not going to. Again, any changes that you make while you're using Google Drive is automatically going to be saved. So I'm actually going to hit the X here. And we're back at the Google Drive kind of home page. I'm going to hit refresh. And there is the resume that we just created. I would actually like to move it to that folder that we created earlier called Testing. So I'm going to right click on the document we just created and click on Move To. And Testing is a part of my drive. And there's the folder. And I'm going to move it. So now, if we click on our folder, there is the file that we just moved to. We just moved to it. So I'm going to go back to my drive, and now I'm going to show you how to set up a spreadsheet. So Google Sheets is similar to Microsoft Excel. You get a lot of the same features. Obviously, creating spreadsheets is a very long tutorial in itself, so I'm not going to go over all of the features that are available here, but just showing you how to access it. We'll title this Expenses, and then start typing in this first cell. And then, let's see. So you can adjust the size of the columns. You'll want to do that where either the columns or rows, you'll want to do that where the number of letters are listed, and you notice your cursor will change, so you can click and drag and make that as large or as small as you would like. If you double click on it, if for some reason the text that you type in is much larger than the cell that it's in, you can double click on that and it will automatically adjust the size of it. You can click on multiple cells and make adjustments. You can set up conditional formatting like you normally would be able to in Excel. Text contains, we'll do, if it has a Y, then we'll set background color to green. Done. And let's do a total. So we can show you the summation formula and equals sum. Where are we at? C2 through C5. So C row 2 through C row 5. So C2 through C5. Circular dependency detected. Oh, that is C5. So it's C2 through C4. There we go. And there's my total. So you can use formulas same way. I'll increase so you can see cents. Again, I'm not going to go over all of the features that are here in the spreadsheet, Google Spreadsheets. It's just very feature rich. So if you're familiar with Google Excel, you'll get, or Microsoft Excel, then you'll get a lot of the same features here in Google Sheets. I'm going to exit it again. Any changes that you make to your Google files are going to be automatically saved here on my Google Drive. I'm going to refresh it, and now I can see the expenses document that I just made, or expenses spreadsheet. I'm going to move that to my testing folder. Right click, move to, it's part of my drive, and there's my testing folder, and I'm going to move it. I'm going to double click on testing, and there it is. Cool. So I'm going to go back to my drive and show you Google Slides, which is similar to Microsoft PowerPoint. So let's pick a theme for our slideshow presentation. We'll do this one. Let's add a title, Google Sheets. New tutorial. And I would like to add a new sheet, so if you go here to slide and click on new slide, there's a new title, or a new sheet. And we'll add some, I would like to do, see, alright, and then let's add a new slide. So for these little boxes, you can always make adjustments to them. You can adjust the size of them, just like when we were in Google Docs and we inserted an image, and we would click and hold these box handles, these little squares. These allow you to change the size. You can also delete them. So the way to delete them is you want to make sure that this cursor is not blinking or active. It will not allow you to delete the box so long as it's allowing you to also type in it. So you'll want to select the box itself, like the line of the box, and you'll notice that the cursor turns into the little crossbars there. You'll click on it and then right click and delete it, and you can delete the box. Alright, and then we'll create a new slide, and we'll delete this one. So again, it's not going to let me delete it so long as the cursor is blinking. It's not going to let me delete it so long as it's also allowing me to type in it. So clicking on it, right click, and I'm going to delete that one. And let's go ahead and insert an image as well. So wherever, I'm going to move the cursor to the end of that line and enter, and I'm going to click on insert an image and upload from the computer, and it inserts an image. I'm going to resize this, again clicking on the little squares, and there we go. And insert a new slide. Cool. So to rearrange your slides, you can see all of the slides that you've created on the left-hand side here. I'm going to move this one that I just created. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to hold my mouse down and then drag it to its new place. And there it is. It's number 2. So to view your slides in presentation mode, whatever slide you have selected, that's where your presentation will start. So I'm going to start at the beginning here, and I'm going to click View and Present. And I'm just pushing the spacebar on my keyboard to toggle between slides or move to the next slide, and space. And when I'm ready to get out of presentation mode, I push Escape. And it will return you back to this editing screen. I'm going to title this testing presentation, enter, and it is saved. So again, any manipulations or any changes that you make to any documents that you create in Google Drive is automatically going to be saved. So I'm going to exit this. I'm going to refresh my Google Drive, and there's the presentation that we just created. I'm going to open it back up. I just realized I forgot to show you how to delete a slide. So this is the slide I'm going to delete. Have it selected. I'm going to right click, and then I can delete. And it's gone. My changes have been saved. Notice that, and then exit. So I'd like to move this presentation, these Google Slides, to the testing folder. Again, I'm going to right click, move to My Drive, and testing, and move. Double click on that folder, and there is my presentation that I just created. So I'm going to go back here to my drive. So if you don't create folders, no judgment on you. It is easier to keep things organized, but you can always search for a file that you have saved by using this search option up here. So let's say resume. And it brings up all of the documents that have this keyword resume. And this is the one that we just created. So you can search your Google Drive that way. I'm going to exit that, and I'm just going to go back to my drive. You can also delete any files by just right-clicking on it, and you can click on Remove. If you accidentally remove something that you didn't mean to, you can click on Trash. And here is the file, and I'm going to right-click on it and restore it. And it's back in its folder. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and delete this entire folder. Today we just set up some things just to demonstrate Google Drive and some of the features that are here. So I'm going to right-click on it and remove it. So you may have noticed that you also have the option to create Google Forms. I'm not going to demonstrate that at all today, but you do have that option if for some reason you need to set up a survey or a questionnaire of some sort. You can always do that here on Google Drive. So that'll be it for today's tutorial. Again, this is really nice feature that is a part of your Gmail account that gives you the option to create documents, and so anywhere that you have internet access and have access to your Gmail account, you will have access to all of the documents that you create. Oh, yeah, one last thing. You can also upload documents to Google Drive. So say you create something in Microsoft Word on your computer locally and you want to upload it to your Google Drive so that you'll have access to it anywhere you have internet access. You can click on New, and you can click on File Upload. You can also do folder upload if you have an entire folder that has multiple files in it, and you can upload the entire folder to Google Drive. But most of the time you'll just have like a document that you just want saved on your drive, and you would do that here. Alright, well that pretty much covers it for today. There's actually quite a few features that are here on Google Drive, and then even in each individual application, docs, sheets, and slides, there's quite a few features. So definitely recommend playing around with it. You'll find that it generally covers most of the needs that you have when it comes to creating documents. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that you have a great weekend.